Q&A. So the way that this works is you ask questions on Wednesdays inside of the private Facebook group. And then on Thursdays, I come on and I answer them live. So bear with me because I'm trying to stream to a couple of different places and I'm getting myself confused. So, trial and error till we get it right. Okay, so we're going to dive right in. And what I'm going to do is, as I'm going through the questions, I'm going to tag you in the comments. That way, if you are watching on replay, you just have to click on the timestamp of the question that I answered for you, and you will be able to just see the part of the video that pertains to you and that is important to you. Okay, cool. So let's see how I'm going to do this. Perfect. Okay. Oh, look, it's breaking all the comments up. Hold on. Bear with me. Oh, I could just post to the I can't post to the Facebook group. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. It allows me to put the user in timeout. This is funny. I'm putting myself in timeout. Okay. Change of plans. I'm going to put your question up on the screen because right now, using this program that I'm using, I can't figure out how to tag you. And we're going to do it that way this week, and I'll figure it out for next week. Okay. Anyway, get back where I'm going. First question is from Marissa. So Marissa says, I need some ideas of little things I can do to show my children that I love and care about them. My 6-year-old is really struggling since having my newborn. She shows no resentment towards him, and I'm grateful for that, but she has big outbursts. She's always been emotional. She'll scream, cry, yell, and be mad at me. When I try to talk to her about it, she'll say things like, you don't love me as much as my brothers. You don't care as much about me. I'm not important. She doesn't see all that we do for her, which I get because she's a kid, but she goes to gymnastics 2 times a week from 4 to 7, so she's gone from dinner. I've been trying to give her as much attention as possible, but honestly, it's hard with 3 and 1 being a newborn. I've been trying to connect and give her more hugs too. Yeah, so she's 6 years old. She's going to do whatever she can do to get the attention, right? So right now, saying, Mommy, you don't care about me. Mommy, you love my brothers more, is getting her exactly the attention that she wants. No, I'm here for you. And, this is how much I love you. And look at all of these things that I'm doing for you. And, right, like that, it's getting her what she wants. And so what I would start to do is not give that behavior so much attention. So when she's saying, you don't love me as much as my brothers, I might just say, I'm really sorry that you feel that way. If there's something specific you want to talk about, just let me know. And then let her have her feelings. It's okay for her to be screaming or crying or sad. It's okay for her to feel all of those emotions. I wouldn't try to fix it. You can help her to process those emotions. You can say, I can see you're really upset right now. Is there something that I can do to help you? Or I can see you're really angry right now. Do you need to get out that frustration, or do you just need to be left alone, right? You can help her through those emotions, but I wouldn't give such attention to the specific things that she's saying to you, which are meant to kind of like dive in and get you to give her that added attention. What can you do to show the children that you love and care about them? I think what you are doing sounds wonderful. You have her doing something that she enjoys, which is the gymnastics. Oftentimes, we think that for our kids to see that we love them and see that we enjoy this time with them, we have to do these big, elaborate things. But if you even set like a 10 or 15-minute timer and just be like, this is our dedicated time together, and don't have any distractions, don't have your phone out, have somebody caring for the baby if you can, right? Or do it during nap times. They will see that and they will feel that connection. So I would try to simplify in your own mind to be like, okay, number one, it's not my job to control her emotions or to make her not ever have negative emotions, right? It's not my job to keep her constantly occupied and feeling like I'm right there for her. But it is my job to make sure that she knows that I'm here for her and that I care for her. And so I'm going to do that by dedicating 15 minutes every 4 hours to making sure I have one-on-one direct time with her. Or on the days that she misses dinner because she's at gymnastics, we will do an after gymnastics snack, just the two of us. Or maybe we have a dance party in the car on the way to gymnastics. Like, find something that's so small that you can really fit into your day, that's not going to cause you extra stress. You're going to be able to be consistent with it, that gives her that attention. And then try to stop giving the attention for that behavior of, saying all of these negative things. I would definitely kind of like combat that negative self-talk, that, mommy loves my brothers more, mommy's not giving me the attention that I want, mommy doesn't care as much about me, I'm not important, right? I wouldn't, in the moments where she's saying that to you to get a rise out of you, address that. But I think in the day to day, I would try to bring up those concepts. I would just keep in the back of my mind, okay, she is feeling like she's not important if I'm not actively spending time with her. I need to teach her, in order for her to be a successful child, adult, human being, I need to teach her that she is important even when I'm not watching her, even when I'm not, giving her any kind of praise. Sorry, let me put this on do not disturb. Okay. Um, there you go. She's still important. So how can I instill that into her so that she's not always seeking for my validation? And so you might do that by saying things to her throughout the day, like, wow, that was really interesting how you came up with that idea. I know you thought I wasn't looking, but I was watching you, right? Or you can say things like, oh, how did that make you feel? Were you proud of yourself? So that she starts to look more for herself, for those positive affirmations. You could do positive affirmations. So maybe that's something that you do together every morning or every night. You do positive affirmations. And when I started doing positive affirmations with Zoe, I would specifically look for moments in the day like that. And so we would say, like, if she was feeling like I can't do this, or she couldn't get something open, or she couldn't figure something out, we would say, like, I am strong. I have great critical thinking skills. For your child, maybe some of your affirmations is, I am loved. I am important. My value does not come from others. And then when you say those affirmations with a 6-year-old, they will start asking questions. Well, mom, what does that mean? And then you open up in an environment where it's not a power struggle, you open up those deeper conversations. Okay, next question is from Amanda. So Amanda says, I'm still really new to this gentle parenting. Of course, all my children are completely different. I haven't been the best parent lately and losing my temper frequently. I would like a reset of doing this and being a better, more understanding and gentle parent. Where do I even start? What's the best way or thing to start with? So, two biggest places to start, okay? This has nothing to do with your kids. I just want to tell you that. It might feel that way, okay? But if you don't want to be the mom that's yelling and lashing out and making empty threats, it's not to do with your kids. We address the issue with the kids later, right? We address that later. What we first need to address is how you handle yourself, right? Think about if even like the toughest person to work with in your whole company, or the most difficult friend that you still have to see because they're friends of a friend, right? Think about if they were like really pissing you off, right? They were just like in your skin, like, ugh, you know, would you hit them? Would you yell at them? Would you scream at them? Would you not manipulate, but would you, yeah, sometimes we manipulate, right? Would you make empty threats to get them to do what you want them to do, right? No, you would find it in yourself to control your behavior, with those other people. With children, it's easier to not do that because we are truly in control. Even when we feel like we're out of control, we are in control of them, right? We literally like hold in our hands everything that they need for survival, physically and mentally. So uh, it starts with you. So where do you start? You start with saying, okay, how do I control myself? No matter what my children are doing, How do I stay calm and even and centered inside of myself, right? What coping mechanisms, what can I do? What tools can I use to control my big feelings? Okay. That's going to be a powerful place to start, not only because all of a sudden now you're going to say to yourself, you're going to make a commitment to yourself, I'm not going to yell anymore. I'm not going to be the mom that yells. And you're going to just start working towards not yelling, right? That will force a couple of different things. It will force you to find another way to communicate without yelling. It will force your kids to see you modeling, not yelling. It will force your kids to see, like, oh, mom's serious and she's not yelling. Like, that's weird, right? And so all these shifts will happen just by you making the conscious decision of, I'm not going to act this way. Because, and I know it's like so cliche to say, like, we can't change other people, we can just change ourselves. But when you start to change yourself, when you start setting those boundaries with yourself, for yourself, I am not going to behave this way, right? I'm going to make this change just for me. Other people around you will start to change as well. Okay. And there are, of course, learned behaviors and different personalities and all the things that go into the kids that we can talk about later. But if you're asking me, where do I start? You got to start with you, and you got to start with getting a handle on your emotions and your triggers. And then the second place to start is with connection. It's very easy to lose connection with our children. We sometimes, like, because we're so in the day to day, our children become more of like a task or a thing to do than a person with their own, wants, needs, desires, um, thoughts. We just start to see them and think of them as like a task, another thing to do, because we have a lot on our plates. So focus on connection. How can I really know my child? What are their interests? What do I like? What do I enjoy just hanging out with them and doing? And no, like, learning lesson and no pressure. Like, can I hang out with my kid and just be? Right? And that's a good place to start too. So your own triggers, your own emotions, and connecting with your children as actual people. You do those two things and you will see natural shifts start to happen. Once you see those natural shifts start to happen, your mind is going to say, oh, I can be kind, I can be softer, or not even softer, but I can operate in a way that feels more natural to me and still have my household operating the way that I need it to. Okay, next question is from Lauren. So Lauren, I'm not going to read your whole comment. Lauren left some like major wins about her daughter and kind of like the things that she's been trying. And so that is awesome. But at the end, she asked me, I don't know if this approach will work in every situation, but it sure amazes me to see it working for her now. She's so special and just blows my mind daily. I love that this approach is working so far, but curious if you have had any situations where this approach didn't work. If so, what did you do? So, this is such an interesting question to me because, yes, of course, there have been times where I am using all of the methods that I have in my pocket and validating and holding space and giving alternatives and redirecting and explaining the situation and all the things, and it's not working. It's not working. Um, and in those moments, just like I'm sure you do, I will question to myself, like, am I doing the right thing? Is this parenting style getting me the results that I want? Because in this moment, I'm frustrated. In this moment, I want her to just freaking wash the hands or do, brush the teeth or get the seatbelt on. And it's not happening. In those moments, you ask, what do I do? In those moments, I need to step back and I need to remember, okay, this feels hard because I am currently trying to control another human being. It is not natural for me to control another human being. How do we instead give tools, give lessons, give room for them to have an off day or different feelings or different opinions? Because when we do that, we take like the extra couple of minutes to have that conversation with them or to say, okay, listen, like things seem off today. What's going on? What can we do to help? Um, the actual task at hand will go a lot smoother. So when we do this holistic parenting, we have to remember that it's the long game that we're in it for. Like, we're not in it for that immediate control. We're not in it for the praise of being like, I told my daughter to take this cup and put it right on that spot and she did it instantly, right? We are not in it for that instant gratification. We are in it to make sure that our children have like these deep core values that will help them later in life. And part of that sometimes is going through these moments where we are disagreeing on things. They are having to do something that they really don't want to do. And then using that as a teaching lesson to say, okay, sometimes in life, you do have to do things that you don't want to do. This is how we listen to our body to see, like, okay, is my body not wanting to do this because I'm not feeling good, because it's not safe, because this, or do I need to motivate my body, right? We start to have these conversations with our kids. We start to have these lessons with our kids. But yes, sometimes in the moment, it doesn't it doesn't feel like it's working. It feels hard. It feels like if I were to just scream right now or hit right now, I bet you she would just do it. But that's not the end game. That's not what we're looking for. We're not looking for that blind obedience, that fear compliance, right? Okay, next question is from Elizabeth. How would a holistic parent handle transitioning from 1 to 2 children? My son is 16 months old and will be welcoming a new baby before he turns 2. I know this will be a big adjustment. We talk to him about the baby all the time, so he's getting some warning that he's coming. He's very attached to me, doesn't nap unless in my arms, wants to be held all day, etc. I love doing this for him and meeting those needs as much as he needs me to. But with the newborn coming, I know it won't be as possible. I just don't want him to feel replaced or like my love is being shifted to the new baby. So, Elizabeth, I love that you are even taking that into consideration, and you're really giving yourself a little bit of prep time here, right? Um, I would do a lot of, talking about the baby, maybe even get him a baby doll and let him help take care of it. You can get the little bottle, you can get the little diapers, you can show him what's going to happen. You can make him part of setting up the room and setting up the house. You can give him little jobs. I mean, 16 months old is tough. By the time he's about 2, he'll understand a little bit more and probably want to help a little bit more. We can, give him jobs, give him things to do. But the biggest thing to remember is that aside from just your attention, which I'll talk about in a minute, everybody's attention will shift towards baby and even towards mom, right? People are calling, oh, did the baby come yet? People are visiting, wow, the baby's so cute. They're bringing gifts for the baby, they're bringing gifts for you. All of a sudden, the older sibling is having to sort of like fight for this attention. So I think you being aware of that is really the most important thing. What I liked to do when Emma was just coming home from the hospital or when we were just about to go and have her, is to do things specifically to make sure that Zoe felt like we were still paying attention to her. So for instance, we went out like a week before I was due and we got Zoe all new like big girl bedding, and that was really to entice her and want her to be excited about sleeping in her room. And so we got like whatever pillow she wanted and the comforter that she wanted at Walmart, and so like we made it a big deal. We took her to the movies before baby came. We got her the baby doll like I was talking about. But then the biggest thing is whenever we would find ourselves like talking about the baby, I'm so excited, the baby is coming, we would always also add in either something that was exciting about her or how she was part of the baby coming in. So maybe you're talking to your friend and you're like, yeah, I just set up all the bottles and I have this and I can't wait for the baby to get here and blah blah blah. And then you just make these statements, even if you think they're not listening. you know, so and so is going to be such a big helper. We set up the warmer so that he could go and put the bottle in and out of the warmer. Right? So now it's like, okay, I'm relevant. I'm still like in this. I'm still relevant in this. So I think just being mindful of it, making sure that you give that attention, making sure that you really lay out very naturally, like what their place is in the family, in your relationship with the baby. And then if it was my child, I would probably, like, if he's always needing you to like nap and to be held, I would start, if you're comfortable, to get a little bit out of that. And you could use the baby doll as sort of like a help with that. Okay, now let's practice. I got to hold the baby. Where can you go to nap? Great. This is where mommy's going to sit. I can't hold you while you're napping, but I'm going to sit right here and then you're going to nap right here, right? And start like preparing them, while you have like the ability to help them process their emotions through it. Because once the baby comes, the truth is that those things are going to happen anyway. He's going to need a nap. The baby's going to need a bottle. He's going to need a nap, and you're going to need a shower. He's going to need a nap, or he's going to want to be in your arms, and the baby's already there. So I would like role play a little bit and give like really exciting alternatives, that again show him like the structure is going to change, but that doesn't mean that you're not part of it. Okay, next question is from Amanda. Okay, Amanda says, I'm fairly new to holistic parenting. My 9-year-old daughter struggles mostly with what I would say is regulating her emotions. When she gets upset, she will hit herself in the head and call herself names. She has worked hard to get to a point where she can throw a squish ball at a poster board until she calms down. Then we can talk about it afterward. Do you have any advice for when we're not at home and she has these feelings? For example, in the car, at the grocery store, she was upset about her shoes not feeling right on her feet. She had nothing in that moment that was working to help calm her down. I was finally able to hold her until she calmed down, but she usually doesn't allow me to do this, and she was struggling for a long time before she would let me. Maybe screaming into her coat would have helped now that I'm thinking all of this out. She throws the ball in place of punching a pillow because she likes for what she's doing to make a sound, and she likes the feeling of using force to throw the ball. So Amanda, it's really amazing that you have like worked with her to find, okay, this is what's working for me to get that emotion out. And I do usually, you will see me recommend saying, okay, we can't hit this, but we can hit this pillow, or we can't throw that, but we can do this. I usually, when I'm talking about this type of scenario, I'm talking about younger children. Um, and I'm not saying this in judgment, I'm just running this through kind of like in my mind. I want to always give you the most honest answer. As they start to get older, so like 9 years old, right? What we want to do is we don't want what was this coping mechanism to get their emotions out before they could truly communicate them. We don't want that to become like a crutch, right? So we don't want to say, I learned when I was 2 and didn't have language and didn't have communication skills, that if I'm angry, like I tell Emma, she goes no, and she claps her hand, or she can go hit the pillow, right? You don't want to say like, okay, I learned this at a time where I was not capable of communicating in a different way, and so now I'm 9, and this is still the tool that I'm trying to use. And so my thought would be that when you are home, to try to switch um, away from that if you can. Because the truth is, as she gets older, needing to throw a ball every time she's angry is going to become less and less realistic. Okay. And we need her to be able to communicate her emotions, communicate what she's feeling, calm herself in a way that can be done pretty much anywhere, right? So we cannot teach those skills in the middle of a tantrum in the grocery store, right? So I would start at home. Let's say she has some kind of a tantrum. She goes, she throws her ball, she's feeling better. I might use that opportunity after she's feeling better to say, somebody is saying maybe a paddle ball. See, let me go where I'm going. Okay. She's angry. She throws the ball. she calms down, everything's cool. I would maybe use that opportunity to be like, hey, that was really effective. That really helps you when you throw the ball. We don't always have a ball with us. So let's try to figure out how we could help calm down when we don't have a ball. What's the really calming part about throwing the ball? She likes the force. Okay, she likes the sound. Can she do something like this? Right? She also likes, I think you said, hitting herself in the head, calling herself names. So sometimes it's even like that vibration, right? And you can even, if you come like this to your head, you can do tapping. You might even say you could do tapping, right? This is calming. And it's giving that effect. It's giving that like kind of nervous system shakeup that maybe she's getting when she's hitting herself, right? So maybe you want to offer tapping. When you get stressed out and we're somewhere, you can do some tapping. You can do some tapping in your hands, right? What about snapping? Snapping gives you that force and that sound, right? What can we use, right? We can work with our breath. We can do, deep breath, using your breath. And I actually have a really good book on that. If you want to see it, I will go get it. I have a using your breath doesn't always mean like using your breath means using a tool to help you. So if that means more aggressive, like that's fine. If there's like another uh sound or frequency, I'm trying to think of the word, or pattern of breathing that is more effective for her, you might want to try that. Hold on, I'm trying to see what would come here. Okay, you do want to see the book. Let me go get the book. Hold on. All right. I keep Zoe's school in this box. So this is like literally, it's in our school box. Should be under self-study. Oh, where is it? Here it is. Oh no, I have it under health and PE. Okay. Hold on. Okay. So this book is called Just Breathe. And I can leave it in the comments, but it basically teaches them like all the different ways that you could use your breath. So you can actually use your breath in even like but look up tapping, look up different ways to use your breath. I would make her part of the process. At 9 years old, make her part of the process. Say, hey, we need to come up with a different way. The ball thing, it worked when you were a little bit younger. It's not working anymore. As you get older, you're going to be in really stressful situations, even when you're out with your friends, and I'm not there to help you. And so we need to start doing that. So when you suggest the paddle ball, it's like, I would love to see her get away from needing like a physical thing outside of herself to do the calming down. That's just me. You got to do what's feels good for your kid though, Amanda. And somebody else is suggesting, what about a journal? Try to write down her emotions. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And also I did want to bring up positive affirmations. We talked about it a couple of minutes ago. But when you say, so when she gets upset, she'll hit herself in the head, call herself names. So she's calling herself names. I would like pay attention to the names that she's calling herself. Like, is she saying, stupid? Is she saying like, I don't know, like, what is she calling herself? And again, not in those moments, like when she is in that like meltdown moment, you do what you need to do to help her calm down, right? But now outside of that moment, how I would keep in the back of your head, like, okay, when she gets frustrated with herself, she calls herself this, this, and this. Let me show her during like calm times that she is not those things. That she's allowed to make bad decisions and it doesn't change who she is as a person. Maybe we do some positive affirmations. Maybe we talk about, like, in general, not be like, remember that day at the store when this happened? Like, maybe in general, talk about, like, hey, do you know that you could make a mistake and it doesn't make you stupid or it doesn't make you a bad person or anything? Mostly stupid. I'm so happy that you're on right now, Amanda. Mostly stupid, and she says everything is her fault. Yeah, so I would just talk to her. Another great book. Oh, I still have it out, I think, from when I was on live the other day. Another great book, and this is for ages 6 to 9, is Growth Mindset for Kids. And so this will teach you. So when we say stupid, that's why I'm like waiting a second, because like the word stupid and the way that kids hear it and what they think about themselves, like the way that we combat that is by teaching them that really, like, when you call somebody stupid, whether you're calling yourself stupid or you're calling somebody else stupid, you are in a fixed mindset. You're saying, well, I don't know this, or I didn't do this right, and I will never know this or do it right. Where growth mindset is saying, like, I did this wrong, but I am going to get better. This is what I need to do to get better. So then once she knows that concept, and if you can't buy the book, just like look up, online, you could probably find printouts and stuff. Once she knows the concept of, like, fixed mindset, growth mindset, I can improve, I can do better. It will be easier for you when you're teaching her these techniques to say, I noticed that you were calling yourself stupid a lot today. Stupid means that you could never learn this thing, or stupid means that you'll never try to do it better. I don't think you're stupid. I think that you work really hard to learn better and do better. And then you can get her thinking about those things. Definitely going to get these books. Yeah, and I will post a book list somewhere. I'm still trying to get my stuff together for my website, but I will eventually post a book list. Like, these are actually two of my favorite books. The breathing, so Just Breathe. And we got this book when Zoe was like, she was probably like 2. And you just take the activities and you just do it, like, modify it. You don't have to do the whole activity how it's in the book. And then this one too, growth mindset activities for kids. This is even a little bit too advanced for Zoe. We've been doing school since July. It's December now, and we're only on activity 4, because we keep just going back and talking about, like, what is growth mindset? What is fixed mindset? Give me examples of growth mindset. Was that growth mindset today when you said that? And we keep working on it. Okay, we have one more question that was asked in advance, and then I think I should have a couple of minutes to do some live questions. So if you have any questions live, you can put them in the comments. Okay. I'm so sorry if I say your name wrong, but this question is from Marielle. I'm starting with my 9-month-old, the gentle parenting strategy, but it has been so hard to not to snap sometimes, especially that he is in a phase where he only wants me. He doesn't want to play alone or nap or anything without being held by me. I cannot work or do anything around the house all day. Is there a way to make him stop being so clingy without leaving him crying alone? I don't want to use the cry it out method. It doesn't feel right to me. How do you act in this situation? I feel you. Both of my kids went through that phase, and probably around the same age, around that kind of like 9 to 12 month mark. Maybe even earlier for Emma, like 6-ish months. But anyway, and with Zoe, it was kind of what you're talking about, where it's like they don't even want anybody else. Like, it had to be me all the time. And it's like, you have things to do. And so what helped me, there's a couple of things that helped me. First of all, mindset shift. Always got to start there, right? So we put so much pressure on ourselves. I do it to this day. To this day, I have to keep, like, reminding myself not to get burnt out, because we think that the definition of being, like, a successful mom is having your kids cared for and happy, and having your house clean, and having your job, praising you, or your business operating well, or getting all your work done. and the fridge is always stocked and the meals are always cooked. And so this is like how we value ourselves, right? So the same way that we want to teach our kids, like your value doesn't change with your decisions and with your environment and with your circumstance, we need to teach that to ourselves too. So I think, and I will talk to you about like the logistics of it too, because I know we need to go a little bit deeper, but always start with mindset. Like, what can I cut out? Either like from my mind of like releasing and saying, it's okay if I don't get all these things done today. Um, and then also like physically, like, okay, can I take anything off of my list? Can we afford to have somebody once a month come and, mop the floors so that I don't have to worry about doing it? Or can we put into the budget or switch up how we do the budget so that we buy like even Sam's Club has like pre-cooked chicken, so you don't have to like cook the chicken. Like, can I get creative with how we do meals for a couple of months so that there's not that much pressure? Can I change up what my work schedule is? Like, just look at where you can release some of that pressure for yourself. But then, like, logistically, so the child is like clinging to you, doesn't want to be put down. You need to or want to do things, you need to put them down. One thing that really helped us that my pediatrician had recommended is instead of just going from like holding, they have you, and now all of a sudden they don't have you, was to kind of like do a softer transition. So what that looked like for us was like, okay, first you're like on me, right? Now all of a sudden we are sitting on the floor and you're sitting on my lap and we're playing with a toy together. And now maybe the next day or a couple days later, whenever they're comfortable with that, they're comfortable with, and now I don't have to be with mom where she is. Mom's with me. We're sitting on the floor. You're on my lap. We're playing with a toy. Great. Now maybe they are sitting next to you, still touching, playing with a toy. Now, couple of days later, you're sitting a foot or two away from them and you're playing with the toy, right? So you're creating that separation without like that shock factor. And then it basically leads up to, okay, you play for 1 second and I'm just going to go wash a dish, or I'm just going to go switch the laundry, and quick back and forth. And then it leads up to, now I can leave you and you can go longer spouts without them. So try that. Let me know how that works. That is all of the questions that I have live for this week. I'm sorry I wasn't able to tag you in the comments. I know I said I would do that, but I'm testing out this new platform so that I can stream also to YouTube and the Facebook page. But if this doesn't work, we'll just go back into the group. It's not a big deal. I didn't see any questions come in. Let me see. My 4-year-old refuses to share. I've given choices and it doesn't help. What can I do? Please help. So I would just like talk to, hey, like, you got to shower. You got to shower. So what's going to make it easier for you? You want to put a toy in there? Do you want to get a brand new loofah? Do you want to get a blue soap? Do you want to get the little crayon so you can draw on the wall in there? I don't know. You got to go in there. Also, just look to like, are you helping them shower versus are you allowing them to do it themselves? I know with Zoe, she loves when I let her do things herself. So like I would wash her hair and then I would let her do her body. So you might want to give them some freedom there. But Jeff, I would just ask, like, to me, like taking a shower would be non-negotiable, right? Hey, we got to take a shower. So what are we going to do? What's going to make it easier for you? We can't have this argument every single day. If we argue every single day before bedtime about shower, we got to start taking shower earlier and then we don't have time to play. So let's sort this out. You tell me what you need. We'll make it happen. But we gotta we gotta clean ourselves. One thing that got my kids a little bit excited about like baths and showers, we have this game that we play now, like right before shower time or bath time. So instead of calling them upstairs and being like, "All right, guys, let's go. It's time to take a shower," somebody is suggesting to read a book after. Yeah, you could do something after the shower to so that they look forward to it. That's a great idea. So what we do is, instead of being like, "Hey guys, it's time to take a shower. Let's go. Come on, we're going upstairs." We play this game where I tell them, like, basically we say, like, "Get your butt off my bed. Get your dirty butt off my bed." And so what they'll do is I'll start going around the house and I'll be like, "Are there dirty butts on my bed? There better not be dirty butts on my bed." And then they'll, like, sneak and they'll run upstairs and they'll go on my bed before their shower, and they'll, like, start jumping on my bed. And so I'll go upstairs and I'll be like, "I knew there was dirty butts on my bed." I said, "You better get this butt off my bed." And I like, it sounds like terrible what I'm saying, but I, like, smush their head and then they fall back onto the bed and they're, like, laughing hysterical. And when they get up, then I'll pretend I'm walking away and I'll say, "There's still a dirty butt on my bed. Get out of here." And I'll smush them down and they fall onto the bed. And then, a couple of minutes of doing that, like, they've gotten this attention from me. I got them upstairs, like, right next to the shower. The shower is running. And then it's kind of like, "Okay, come on, let's go." And if they're still fighting it, which normally they don't, but if they were to still fight it, I would say, "I know that was so much fun. We can play again when we're done, but we do need to get ourselves cleaned." Um, and so that's kind of just silly things that we do in our house to just kind of make the mundane things a little bit more interesting. Okay, so if you want to watch the replay, if you're on live, you want to watch the replay, you can go into the Facebook group. You can also find it on YouTube probably later today. I will try to figure out how I can tag you in the comments. Ideally, the way this would work is I tag you in the comments as I answer your question so that you can go and click the timestamp to just listen to the part of the video that is relevant to you. Didn't work that way this time. I will play around with it for next week. But I was able to display the questions on the screen so you can kind of scroll through and find which one was for you. So I will catch you next week. And just as a reminder, every Wednesday at 9 a.m., a post goes up in the Facebook group that says, "Hey, what are your questions?" And whatever you comment there, whatever questions you leave there are the questions that I answer live. And I always guarantee that I answer all of the questions. As long as they're asked in advance, I answer them live. So thank you for being here. I truly appreciate you. Love that we have our Facebook group back. And I will see you throughout the week.